Dave, you know what, actually, the first thing that came to my mind was Dave Dubélé. How many of you went to the show, his exhibit last night? Go see it if you haven't seen it. But, you know, so many iconic images, just absolutely stunning images that have been taken underwater by Dave Dubélé. And I've had the privilege of being underwater with Dave. And so my moment is actually seeing David with cameras littered on the bottom of the seafloor, and this New York Jew, you know, just kind of flailing around underwater. It looks like he'd be better going down, you know, Fifth Avenue, you know, to do, you know, some day job in a suit, and coming out with these stunning images. So to me, it's like Dave Dubélé underwater with stunning images.
Well, I guess my moment was 1988. I was swimming in a krill ball off San Diego, and a blue whale ate the krill ball. And I actually turned around just at the right time. The camera was set at the right aperture, had it set 50 frames a second, and got the shot. And it was a good shot, believe me. And about a year and a half later, I was talking with a producer for, I think it was National Geographic, Dennis Kane.
Oh, Dennis, sure, yeah.
I forget his company at the time, and he wanted me to make a film on blue whales because he'd seen the shot and he said, "We got to make a film on blue whales," and he had a huge budget off me, and I told him if I had 10 times that much money in 10 years, I could do another shot.
How close the weight?
Mine was actually recent. I mean, it was sort of with Mark filming the killer whales. We were in New Zealand, and it was one of those sort of stupid things where we're trying to film them eating stingrays. And, you know, you should probably take 6 weeks to do it, and we were like, you know, the budget said 2 weeks. And New Zealand, I think, has some like extraordinary amount of coastline, like 10,000 miles of coastline. We were only on, you know, 3,000 miles of it. But everything came together extraordinarily, and we were in the water with them, filming them. You know, there's something incredible, as you guys know, about being in the water with something so large, predator, you know, swim by you, and you're in the shadow of it. And not only is it sort of incredible, but they're doing what you're there to film, and everything's coming together. So it was just a magical moment, and Mark was there to share it.
My favorite underwater moment that came to mind first is actually there was a point where I was going to go swim with sperm whales with my father off Dominica, and it was basically my first time going out, and we were in an inflatable kayak, and we knew that there were whales out there, and we were far away from the other boat, and I had my camera, and my dad had his camera, and we're just like, okay, we're gonna go and just pop in front of this pod, and we go underwater. I start for some reason swimming like this way, and my dad's kind of with his bigger camera, and I am moving much faster than my dad, and all of a sudden I come upon a pod of 18 sleeping sperm whales. They're all sleeping like this.
Oh, wow.
And I look around, my dad's like not behind me, and I'm like, okay, I'm with the largest toothed carnivore in the world, and I'm tiptoeing around them sleeping, and my dad finally comes up behind me. I get a couple shots with my video camera. He comes up, and he's pissed that I'm there ahead of him. And he turns his 35 millimeter camera on and goes,
Yeah.
and all the whales go. And I'm like, okay, we're just toast. But they were a very friendly pod, and they just kind of slowly just woke up and drifted on.
So wait, Trista, was he pissed that you got there before him, or he was concerned that you were going to get hurt?
Oh, he was only pissed that I was there.
Yeah, I know.
My favorite moment was here in Monterey Bay, and there was a large number of humpback whales. My favorite moment was here in Monterey Bay, and there was a large number of humpback whales here, and they were breaching and munch feeding right off Moss Landing, which was fairly unusual. And ran and grabbed my kayak and camera, and I'm sitting out there poised on my kayak, and I see 2 humpback whales, and they both dive, and I'm trying to project, like, okay, they should be coming out pretty close. I'm sitting there, I got the camera rolling, I'm ready, I'm waiting, nothing's happening. And I look and I start seeing some bubbles underneath my boat, like getting a little nervous, you know, and it's all quiet, silent out there all by myself, and all of a sudden, One whale blow was literally this close to my ear on one side of the boat. The second one came up perpendicular and lifted my kayak 2 feet out of the water. In my panic, I hit the off button instead of, I was already recording, started screaming expletives out. I think when I finally got back on, and all you hear me is like, oh my God. For about 10 minutes or so, breathless, but